Hey yo, welcome to Testing Chambers, the show where we check out alphas, betas, games in development. Today, we're playing the alpha version of Nioh. This is a Dark Souls inspired game. You kill enemies to get Amrita that you spend to level up, just like Souls. When you die, you drop the Amrita and you need to go back to the place where you died to pick it up again. You have consumables that restore your health and you get them back whenever you pray at a shrine. And whenever you do that, it also resets the enemies within a given area. The levels have a maze-like structure with shortcuts and doors that do not open from the side. Does any of this sound familiar to you guys? How about these red graves that you find all over the place, representing players who died? Though in Nioh, you can actually summon the dead players to fight them. You don't actually fight the players, just an NPC with the same name and level of the player who died. It's actually pretty good for farming souls. Sorry, Amrita. Though the bloodstains never bothered me in Dark Souls because they are, small, these graves get quite annoying because they are throughout all the levels. It's a bit much. Combat and loot are quite different, and I believe that's what sets Nioh apart. You've only got 3 weapon types: the katana, a spear, and a great hammer or a great axe. They both have the same moveset. You've also got your armor, your trinkets, and stuff like that. You pick up these 3 weapon types all the time. Every enemy drops tons of them. And you soon find out why, because there's weapon durability in this game. Every weapon in this game is pretty much made of glass. After a few slashes, it's just broken, and you either need to use a consumable to repair it or equip a new one. It almost has a Diablo loot kind of feel to it, where you're not really picking up something different from what you already have, but it has better stats, meaning it will do better damage or better resistances, so you take less damage. Take this big guy for instance. When he died, he dropped a charm on the ground, and you can see it's better than what I have, because there's a blue arrow right next to its name. But oh, hang on. My inventory is full. Let me just get rid of all this stuff. Alright. Now, where was that item? Each one of the 3 weapon types has a very distinct moveset, and they have 3 stances per weapon. You have a low stance for quick attacks and high mobility, a medium for more defensive playstyle of parrying and wearing your enemy's stamina out, and high for high damage and slower attacks. The cool thing is that you can switch up your stance mid-combo, and the game actually rewards you for doing that. At the start, the combat system is kind of boring and feels very clunky. The tracking on the attacks isn't great, so you end up missing a lot of your attacks while still adapting to this playstyle, which almost makes locking on a necessity. And also, you just don't have a lot of moves, making it very repetitive. But once you start leveling up, you get skill points that you can use to buy skills and customize your combos, and this is when things get interesting. Enemies with big health pools that just attack you relentlessly become easy targets for your mid stance because of your parry and kick that depletes their stamina. And at the same time, you've got to be aware of your own stamina, for you have sort of an active stamina refill system where you hit R1 at the right time and you'll regain a bit of your stamina back. And trust me, you don't want to run out of stamina. Your character has a stroke every time you do. I became very addicted to this fighting system after I got enough skills on my moveset. That is until you face stronger enemies. You see, you're able to use all these skills and combos when your enemies are flinching with each one of your attacks. That's how you can chain them together. But when they take your attacks without a care in the world, you have no option but to attack and back away. And it just feels like a waste of a good combat system at that point. I've seen the question pop up here and there on the internet on whether or not this game is tougher than Dark Souls, and from my initial impressions, yeah, I'd say it is. Doesn't mean it's a better game, but it's definitely a lot harsher. If you turn your back to your enemies, for example, because you're running away to regain some stamina or for whatever reason, you take insane damage and die within a couple of hits. Also, getting hit not only depletes your health, but your stamina as well, forcing you to think twice about going all in. And also sometimes in the Souls games, you're fighting multiple enemies and you're just totally fine. In Nioh, it's a lot tougher. I couldn't really do it unless I had the spear equipped. And even then, I wasn't sure I could take those enemies on. The game does give you plenty of tools to pull one enemy at a time. You've got rocks, just like in Dark Souls. You've got a bow, which has decapitating arrows. Those are always fun. If you don't get a headshot, you can also use them to pull enemies from very far away. Hang on. He's coming. We'll just wait here. Just a second. There you go. Hope the run was worth it, mate. So it's a game that I ended up playing a lot more defensively than any Dark Souls in the past. It's just full of ambushes, traps, and I never really did use the rocks to pull one enemy at a time in Souls, save for a few exceptions. Here, I was doing it all the time. This game is harsh. There are also some boss fights, and they're quite challenging as well, not only because the bosses destroy you, but because they break your armor every single time. So I think I figured out this boss's weakness, and so if he keeps breaking my armor, then if I just don't wear any armor, I'm pretty sure he can't break anything. Yep, you learn from the master. And he dropped an epic that is worse than what I have right now. Thanks, Nioh. Really fun game, can't wait to check out more of it in the future. It is quite harsh at the beginning, but once you get a few skills and get used to the combat system, it can be a ton of fun. I hope the environments aren't all dark and depressing like the environments present in the alpha, and there's a bit more enemy variety, hopefully. Not even in terms of movesets, because they have humans with different weapons and demons with completely distinct skills, but just in terms of looks, they all look kinda similar. So I don't know, I'm not a big fan of the game's visual style for now, but if the full game adds more variety, then I'm all in. There's also not a lot of build possibilities, which is another big downside. Or rather, you could build towards the katana, the spear, or the great hammer, and that will give you more combos and more moves with each weapon, but you can't make it like a dedicated magic build. There's magic in the game, but it's highly for buffing your weapons or for extra protection, not exactly spells. And whether you make a build dedicated to a weapon or another, your playstyle's not gonna change that much. Those are my thoughts on the Nioh Alpha from what I've played. What about you guys? Did you play the Nioh Alpha? Let me know what you guys thought in the comments below. While you're down there, click the like button if you enjoyed the video and subscribe for more gaming goodness. I've been Globku. Thank you for watching. Boy.